Tech giants are celebrating record-breaking sales this morning. Amazon's $60.5 billion in fourth quarter revenue was much higher than expected. Sales are up 38% from the previous year. Fourth quarter sales of Google's parent company Alphabet exceeded $32 billion, up 24%, and Apple's revenue topped $88 billion. Profits hit $20 billion for the first time. The three companies combined made more than $500 billion last year. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is with us. Good morning, Jill. Wow. Okay, let's start with Amazon. Why are things better than expected?
Well, as we know, they are expanding beyond just online, so that's really interesting. We also know that Amazon derives an enormous amount of money from their cloud computing area. It drives revenue like crazy. It was up 45% from a year ago. It's just incredible. We know that holiday sales better than expected. And by the way, a little interesting factoid, $789 million in a tax benefit due to the tax law changes. So they took that in the fourth quarter. They would have been profitable anyway, but an amazing result.
So that really helped them. Do you think these companies are getting too big, too dominant?
Well, you know, there's a case to be made for that. If you look at just how search is done, we know Google accounts for 90% of search or something like that. Ad spending, you put together Facebook plus Google, and you know that ad dollars, almost 2/3 of every ad dollar spent, it goes to one of those two companies. And I think that there's this case that people are saying they're just getting too big, they're too dominant. When you talk to antitrust lawyers, what they say is, you know what? The consumer is the focus when it comes to antitrust, and consumers are not harmed by the dominance of these companies, and that's the key.
Let's dig into the numbers for Apple, because this was the first earnings report since the release of their new phone. Lackluster sales, so how did they recover?
You know, it's a beautiful thing when you can charge more. That will make up for your lackluster sales.
Yes.
So that $1,000 iPhone X, which I have not bought yet, but that made up for a lot. I will say there is a couple of things interesting about this report. One is they gave disappointing guidance in the future, and a lot of the analysts that I spoke to said that wasn't expected. The other piece of this, don't forget, Apple's sitting on about $252 billion overseas. They're going to repatriate that. $38 billion they're going to pay in taxes. They got to do something with that money. So it's going to be research, development, and I suspect they're going to be looking for some tasty acquisitions.
All right, you didn't get the iPhone 10, but a lot of people did.
I know.
It worked out okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jill.